The viral mean in the thermodynamic gospel of speed. By definition, viral information propagates at an accelerating rate, driving stable systems unstable. Entropy is in fact just a form of information, the number of bits required to describe the microscopic motion of atoms and molecules. When gravitating systems lose energy and information, they heat up. Truth is such a constraint. Chaos is defined by explosive growth and spread of random information. A meme began as a unit of cultural inheritance selected by survival across generations and has been redefined into a unit of digital transmissibility selected for speed across seconds. The concept did not merely change meaning, it changed fitness criteria. When reproduction time collapses, the ecology of culture reorganizes around what can be copied fastest, not what can be lived longest. Memes were once social because humans were the reproductive substrate. Now humans are increasingly optional. Bots propagate headlines they do not read, malware spreads without belief, and trading algorithms stampede without comprehension. When replication detaches from understanding, selection no longer optimizes for sense, only for spread. Whatever reproduces twice per second will dominate what reproduces once per second, regardless of beauty, truth, or benefit. Digital culture is governed less by persuasion than by doubling time. The sovereign variable is not what is good, but what is fast. Viral information is information whose propagation accelerates. Acceleration is not neutral, but destabilizing. Stable systems are built around bounded flows, cues, norms, verifications, frictions. Yet viral flows turn friction into competitive disadvantage. The more a system values stability, the more it becomes prey to acceleration. A market crash in seconds is a mimetic event without memes. Orders reproducing orders, cascades amplifying cascades, feedback outrunning cognition. The point is not finance, but general. Any coupled network of information processors can generate runaway amplifications. The content is incidental, the dynamic structure is the actor. In fast ecology, signal is often slower than noise because signal pays rent to reality. Verification introduces latency, nuance introduces decoding time, care introduces pauses. Where speed is selection, pauses are extinctions. Entropy increase can be read as a natural tendency of bits of information to reproduce and spread across microstates. What we call disorder is often just unconstrained copying at the smallest scales. The combinatorial victory of the many over the few. The second law is not merely a physics of dictum. It is a universal ecology of possibility. Order is a thin sliver of state space. Disorder is the ocean around it, and perturbation nudges systems towards the vastly more numerous useless configurations. Therefore, shit happens is not cynicism but statistics, and maintenance is not optional but metaphysically required. Life, mind, and civilization are local insurgencies against entropy, funded by energy gradients and executed by information. Their purpose is not cosmic destiny, but the creation of temporary defended pockets of beneficiary structures. To live is to keep building sandcastles in a universe that prefers beaches. gravitating systems losing energy can produce heating, not cooling, a paradox at the signature of virtual dynamics. Clumping is an informational process, compressing matter into fewer macro states while exporting entropy outward. The universe makes stars by concentrating structure locally and paying for it with disorder elsewhere. A cloud collapses, heats, ignites, a star radiates, loses energy and entropy, and yet grows hotter. It is a replicator in another register, reproduces structure flows of energy information into the cold. The cosmos goes viral via gravity, and we are the downstream recipients of this accelerated broadcast. The supermassive star embodies the danger of fast exchange. It radiates faster, heats faster, runs out faster, collapses into a black hole, and explodes outward as supernova. Acceleration is not merely intensity, it is abbreviated lifespans. When flows speed up beyond regulatory capacity, the end state is discontinuity. Gravitational instability is a blessing because it has built the stellar furnaces that make heavy elements and habitats. Digital virality is less blessed because it accelerates without necessarily reproducing structure worth having. Nature's accelerations build worlds. Our accelerations often dissolve meaning. Truth is constrained by reality, and constraints cost time. Falsehood can be engineered for virality alone, optimized for outage, novelty, or coalition pleasure without paying verification overhead. In the meme race, reality is a tax, delusion is a subsidy. Subtlety requires attention, and attention requires seconds. Seconds are fatal in a high-speed selection environment. Hence, the race to the bottom is not primarily moral failure, but evolutionary drift under a changed fitness landscape. What takes longer to appreciate becomes systematically under-reproduced. Cancer spreads because it ignores regulatory signals. Fake news spreads because it ignores epistemic signals. Both are replications freed from governance. Growth uncoupled from the health of the host. The host can be a body or a society. The pathology is the same. Acceleration without constraint. Societies, organisms, and star systems persist through orderly exchange of information, cues, signals, feedback, gradients, governance. What looks like order is a choreography of constraints that keeps amplification inside safe bounds. Lose the choreography and you don't get freedom, you get runaway. Chaos is not merely mess, it is explosive growth and the spread of random information. It is the point at which the system's own internal copying process floods its ability to maintain coherent macro states. The signature of chaos is not ugliness, but unbounded surprise. When memes propagate so rapidly that they lose meaning, watch out, not because meaning is sacred, but because meaning is a control surface. A society that cannot stabilize shared reference cannot coordinate. And a society that cannot coordinate becomes easy to steer by whatever controls the fastest flows. Meaninglessness is not neutral, it is vulnerability. The second law implies that many head outcomes require two villain. The second law implies that many bad outcomes require no villain. Disorder is the baseline attractor. When people demand a culprit for every failure, they regress to a cosmic morality play and hunt scapegoats. Thermodynamics literacy is an antidote to witch trials. Poverty needs no explanation in an entropic universe. It is the default. What needs explanation is wealth, the continuous investment of energy and information into maintained structures. Politics that treats order as natural and disorder as sabotage will reliably misdiagnose reality. A sufficient powerful computation could reproduce the interactions of a system and thereby mimic its behavior. But mimicry is not comprehension. Analysis explains parts, emergence explains strata, wisdom is knowing which stratum you are in. When the number of interactions become large, explanation migrates upward. Acidity is not best understood in quarks, love is not best understood in oxytocin. Memes are not best understood in individual posts. Each level has its own lawful regularities and its own intelligible vocabularies. Reduction is true and insufficient. Natural selection works with what is available, repurposing old parts into new functions. Therefore, outcomes are good enough, not optimal, and multiple solutions coexist under similar pressures. This is a key bridge back to memes. Replication selects, but it does not guarantee excellence. Different substrates yield different intelligences, different cultures, different meme ecologies. Hyperintelligence, if it arises elsewhere, may not resemble us because its history of parts will differ. The path dependence of evolution is the hidden author of form.